All right, let's talk about taking your presentations from, flat and kind of forgettable to something that's actually a dynamic, memorable experience. Today, we're going to dive into how you can master multimedia so that your message doesn't just get heard, it really truly sticks with people.
We've all been there, haven't we? You've spent hours, maybe even days on your work. Your ideas are solid, you're ready to go, but then you look out at your audience and you just see nothing. Blank stares. Ugh, it's that awful, sinking feeling when you know your slides just aren't cutting it.
So let's break this down. On one hand, you've got the old way, which is what we're desperately trying to get away from, right? These walls of text that no one ever reads, these jarring, abrupt jumps from one slide to the next, and just dumping every bit of information on the screen at once. But the new way, the multimedia way, that's all about engagement. It's about using short, punchy video clips to show people what you mean, not just tell them. It's about using smooth transitions to guide your audience along and using animation to reveal your points one by one. And the best part is, this isn't some super complex technical wizardry. The solution is actually about using a few simple tools you probably already have, to make your presentation breathe and move and actually connect with people. Okay, so let's jump into our first toolkit, dynamic media. This is where we literally give your presentation a voice and a vision that goes way, way beyond just static text and pictures. So what are we really talking about here? It's simple. Dynamic media is just any video or audio file you put directly into your slides. Think about it. A short customer testimonial video, a quick screen recording showing how to use a piece of software, or even just a subtle background audio clip to set a mood. Video is especially powerful because you can explain something really complex with more detail and emotion in a 15-second clip than you ever could with a static slide. This stuff does the heavy lifting for you. And adding it is just a super straightforward 3-step process. First, you select your media. Make sure it's short, it's high quality, and it actually supports your point. Step 2, you just use your presentation software's insert function to pop the file in there. And then third, and this part is absolutely crucial, you have to edit it for impact. Trim that clip down, show only the most essential part. You're not showing the whole movie, right? Just the key scene. All right, let's move on to our second set of tools. This is all about creating seamless motion. It's how you can guide your audience's attention and really create a professional, polished flow from beginning to end. Now, first things first, let's clear something up that people often get confused: the difference between animation and transition. Animation is the stuff that happens on a single slide, like making text or an image appear. Transitions, on the other hand, are what happen between your slides, how you move from one idea to the next. So one controls the content, the other controls the story's flow.
So a good way to think of animation is like it's your digital pointer. It's how you control the rhythm of the information you're sharing. You're basically preventing your audience from reading ahead, and you're making sure they're focused on exactly what you're talking about, right in that moment. So why bother using it? Well, it's all about control. You can make your bullet points appear one by one, which keeps your audience totally in sync with you instead of reading ahead. You can make a key number or statistic pop onto the screen at just the right moment for maximum impact. You can even build out a process step by step, making it way easier to follow. You're basically the director, telling their eyes exactly where to look. Transitions, though, they're kind of like the glue that holds your slides together. A good transition makes the jump from one topic to the next feel really intentional and smooth, not choppy. It basically says to your audience, okay, hang on, we're moving on to the next idea together. And applying them couldn't be easier. You just select your slide, pick an effect, and then decide if you want it on just that one slide or on the whole deck. But listen, a word of advice here. Less is definitely more. Stick to simple, subtle stuff, like a fade or a push. The goal here is a professional flow, not some kind of flashy 90s-era talent show. So we've talked a lot about the how, but now let's get to the most important part, the why. Why go through all this trouble? What's the real payoff here? Here it is in a nutshell: retention. With just text on a screen, audience recall is pretty low. You add in some decent static visuals, and okay, it gets a lot better. But when you bring in multimedia, video, audio, purposeful motion, you're engaging more of their senses, and retention just skyrockets. You're creating an experience that's stickier and more memorable, all because our brains are literally wired to pay attention to change and motion. And, ultimately, it really comes down to this. Facts and figures, they inform people. But emotion is what persuades them.
Multimedia is your single best tool for forging that emotional connection, whether it's through a really powerful video clip or just the polished professional feel of a well-paced presentation. So let's just recap the big takeaways here. Using multimedia isn't just about making things look pretty. First, it grabs and holds attention, which is huge in a world full of distractions. Second, it can untangle really complex ideas, especially if you use a quick demo video. Third, like we just saw, it massively boosts what your audience actually remembers later. And finally, let's be honest, it just makes you look more polished, more prepared, and more professional. So there you have it. You've got the core building blocks now to take your presentations to a whole new level. You know how to add dynamic media, and you get how to use motion to guide your audience. You've seen why it's such a game changer. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to do with all this? What idea, what project, what story are you going to bring to life the next time you get up there to present?